This message is for those of you who have a very soft, agreeable personality, where you tend to want to cooperate with people, regardless of whether or not they've earned your trust, and you kind of go out of your way to please people, just wishing the best for everybody, even those who you don't quite know yet, but you give yourself away to people very easily. So if you're that type of personality where you wear your heart on your sleeve, people notice that you're very eager to help, very loving, very trusting, potentially self-sacrificing in nature. If that sounds like you, or if you resonate with a lot of those traits, then you do need to be careful with certain types of people, because there are certain types of people who are very disturbed inside, not mentally healthy, and they're always struggling, going about their day-to-day lives. And those people who struggle in that sense, they don't process their emotions very well. They don't process their issues very well. And the primary way that they regulate themselves is by finding people who they deem to be people who would be willing or able to take on their pain. Certain targets that they consider to be good targets of projection of their own inner pain and discomfort. So these people who are not mentally healthy, these very toxic individuals like narcissists, some of the other cluster B personality types as well, they're always on the lookout for people that they consider would be susceptible, that would initially be susceptible to their charms and manipulations. So then they'll be good targets for their own negative projections and just generally outlaying their negativity onto the target. So if you resonate with a lot of the traits that I mentioned earlier, things like being very, agreeable, trusting, wearing your heart on your sleeve and things like that, and if you find that you've had quite a few people in your life, quite a few people come into your life, toxic people, and if they've caused any suffering or discomfort in you, then that really is a sign that you should revisit certain things about your personality, that you should shift certain things about yourself to protect yourself. It's okay to put personal boundaries in place. It's okay to have thick skin and only open yourself up fully to people who you fully trust. It's okay to kind of keep people who you don't trust, to treat them nicely and things, but not to give yourself away to people too easily. It's okay to do that. Actually, it's in your interest to do that. Because it's very important that you realize that if you've had a lot of toxic people coming into your life, and if you do resonate with a lot of the traits that I've been talking about, that is seen as an invitation for the people to come into your life and then manipulate and abuse you in a way that relieves their pain. Their problem, they're making it your problem. They're making their problem your problem. So it's important that you don't keep that invitation open to these people. A lot of people are very empathic and very trusting. A lot of these people have unhealed wounds of their own when they were children. So they grew up being overly empathetic and trying to be overly helpful and loving and trusting to people. But if you have too much of those traits and you give yourself away indiscriminately, there are certain people out there who spend their whole lives, 24/7, as they go out and about, looking for people like you. And once they've spotted people like you, they then start working their way into your reality, into your life. At the beginning it might seem innocent, and it might seem that they don't mean harm, but the harm soon follows. So the point of this message is just for people to self-reflect and to realize, to think about, the core traits of yourself, to see what kind of people you've been inviting into your lives. And if it is the case that you feel that there are certain aspects of you that have been inviting the wrong people into your life, and you want to put an end to it, then it is within your power to put an end to it. And it all comes about with a slight shift in certain things about you. And then you kind of mold yourself over time into a person who has better boundaries and healthier and safer boundaries for yourself. So I hope that's helpful to those of you who can relate to the particular points that I've made. Sometimes self-reflection is important, and then following that, sometimes allowing certain changes within ourselves is important too.